Pleasant good afternoon, one and all. Good afternoon. Welcome to Speaking Out, Exposing Corruption, Incompetence. Today, Monday, the 4th day of August, 2025. Welcome. We're in the afternoon. Monday afternoon. We're here. So we had let me tell you, Mr. Conway going to explain to you a little later, but we couldn't make it this morning because of engagements or an engagement. We couldn't make it this morning. And so therefore, here we are this Monday afternoon. I suspect that a lot of people get the opportunity now, because I guess by now you're coming out from work, and to listen to this episode of Speaking Out, Exposing Corruption, Incompetence. Today is Monday, the 4th day of August, in the year 4th, 2025. Another great day that the Lord has made. Let's rejoice and be glad in it. Let's give praise and thanks to be in the land of the living. Many persons have not been this fortunate. So we have to give praise, we have to give thanks to the Almighty, because without Him, nothing happens, nothing moves. So we are happy to be here this afternoon and to bring you another episode. And as usual, we have so much to tell you. So many things have happened. Even today, we have issues coming up that we need to bring to your attention. As we have said repeatedly, we are into the silly season, less than a month to national and regional elections, and you're going to hear all sort of things, all sort of lies, all sort of propaganda. So we tell you, come to Speaking Out, and we are going to give you the facts. We're going to give you the references. So we are just telling you things. We're telling you where you can go and look for it yourself, so that you are intelligent people. You can read for yourself, you can understand. Don't worry what they're telling you, especially the PPP politicians, especially them. All of a sudden, all sort of nice rosy thing, the painting and all this other thing. These people are something else, and they believe it's stupid. Well, Jack Dio did say that Guyanese are stupid people. He did say that. We have a lot of stupid people, but we here are not stupid. We here, and we're going to show them that when we come to September the 4th, that we are not stupid, because we're going to know how to vote and get rid of these corrupt people. We know that. So, yeah, he said we're stupid, but we're going to see. As back in the day, when you tell a man he's stupid in the country he grew up in, you say, put your hand in my mouth, put your finger in the mouth, and you're going to see how stupid I am. So we are getting an opportunity to prove to them that we are not stupid, right? So here we are. My colleague, Mr. Conway, is here, waiting as usual, raring to go. So the usual protocol, we're going to do the roll call. Then we're going to make some announcements, and then we're going to go into it. But this afternoon, more than any other time, I am inviting you to, or encouraging you to share the live, because a lot of people, based on what transpired during the course of the day, from the time 7 o'clock came and the program wasn't scheduled, people started to message me and asking me what's going on. And then when 11 o'clock came around and people looking for the program and can't find it, they're licking me down, them calling, them messaging. Let me tell you all this. Some of you are going to get time out, because I have said to you repeatedly, you must subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Speaking Out, Exposing Corruption, Incompetence on YouTube. Subscribe. When you subscribe, there's a notification button, little bell. You hit the bell, and when we send out notifications, you're going to be notified. So yesterday, I sent out the notification to say, due to circumstances, we were not going to have the program at 11, but we're going to come at 4 in the afternoon. The notification is sent. Subscribe to the channel. If you are a Facebooker, follow the page on Facebook. You're going to get the notification. I want to say that you're 9 sometime, but it's not easy when I send out the notification. People calling and people taking and so. But some of you know. So the program was scheduled at 1 o'clock, but once the gate open, people running. Those are people who would have gotten the notification that the program is at 4 o'clock and the gates will be open at 1 o'clock. Congratulations to you, students. And for the others, please, just go subscribe to the channel. And once you subscribe on YouTube to Speaking Out, there's a little bell at the bottom. That is called a notification button. You hit that, and that ensures that whenever anything is posted on the channel, you will get a notification, right? So go do that now. Now work. You got to do that now, right? Go do it now. Well, in terms of the roll call, first, well, as I told you, how it works. 1 o'clock, first man listed is Ulrich, then Charlene, Evelyn, Carlton, Sean from upstate New York. And we got tackling about cricket this afternoon, Sean. I know some of y'all, when we talk about cricket, we aren't talking about Pakistan and West Indies, right? We're talking about England and India. That fantastic test match which finished today. Carl, it was here. He came in at 101, and then the list goes on. Peter, Aubrey from Canada, Joan from New Amsterdam, Jacko from Georgia, Denise from Florida. Then it was Clarence, Marlon, Valerie, Henrik, Orin from the UK. Clifton Pastor Smith is here with us. John, Claire, Desiree from Georgia, Courtney, Carrie-Ann, Morton, Brian, Patricia is here. Christy Jack, Kay, Clifton, Earl, Denise, the secretary, Puran from Essequibo Coast, Kevin, Anthony, Petersall and the East Bank of Demerara, Marva, Edward, Sydney, Brenda, Rhonda, then it is Clyde, Brian, Ainsworth, DeMark K is back in class, Benji from Myconi, Vibart Smithy 7464 Smith is here. Then we have another Vibart, Lawson 9066. Vibart Lawson is here with us as well. Then we have Pamela Westdam, Aileen, Randolph, Raul, Terrence from Canada 9795. Another Vibart is here with us. Doreen, my squad mate from Canada. Ralph, David, Mary, Dennis, Compton, Hazel, Cranston, Danny 9731. Daniels is here with us. Melinda, Princess, Felicia, Lawrence, Carol, Father Masha, Cecile, Semple is here. Jam, Morian, Diane, Tyrone, Magnell, Sion, Clive from the UK, 12789. Lynette from the UK is here as well. Simo from Texas. Then Colin, Phil, Gary. Gary, good to see you in class. Derek, Forgus, Sheena, Delon, Roxanne, Sharon, Lennox, Queenie is here. Cecile, Arul, Michael from Imbai Madai. Gary, Uvarni, Wayne from the UK is with us. Alison, Terrence, TK from California. Veronica, Eshwan, Ashley, Lorraine, Jean, Deborah. Then it was Patricia. This is the next Patricia. Salima, Lorraine, Rayburn, Lucius is here. Ian is here with us. Uncle Paul is here. Moses, Margot, Dion, Anne, Philip, George, Carville, Elton, Diane, John. Then it is Joseph. Run the lane. Then I'm still in the house. Osbert. Then it's another Lorraine. Charles, George. Then it was Gordon. Colin 8941 is here. Sherry. Vibart, East Bank, Demerara is here. Michael, Marlon, another Marlon. Then it was Barbara. Somodat is here. My lawyer is here. Mr. Selwyn Peters from Canada is here with us. Welcome, Selwyn. Welcome. There are many issues that we have been talking about in recent times and we talk about today. I would love to hear your opinion on that, maybe privately. Victorine is here. Then it was Colin, Paul, Hazel, Mike, Jakey is here with us. Karen, Isabella, Cheryl, Audrey. And then after that is Emerson, Junior, Umi is here. Heather, Liran, Jermaine, Jason, Siobhan, Aubrey. Then it was Siobhan came again. Dexter, Francis Keith from Melanie is here with us. Alwyn, Mary, Clifford, and Clifton from Paris. Desiree, Wayne, Yesan from Trinidad. Samantha, Winston from California. Daniel, Sharon, the Corbins are here. Daniel Corbin, followed by Sharon. I know Sharon from the UK. Then we have Sandrine Baird, Mark, Ezzy, Neola, Gibbo is here. Give one know you only coming late because it's afternoon. In the mornings, you're here very, very early. Dylan, Nicola, Barbara, George, my countryman, is here. Paulette, Joseph, goodbye, goodbye. That's a nice one. Goodbye, goodbye is here with us. Evelyn, Clay, Marlon, Cedric, 82, 19 Daniels. Blackman, 62 is here with us as well. Richard, Anthony, then it is Vashti, Esla, Nigel, John, my friend John is here. Allison, Ovid, Diane, Daniel, sorry, Daniel, I ain't seeing go this afternoon. Original Blackman. So you got a rival. Then we have Owen, Claudius, and the last person in the schoolyard was Simone. And then we had Brandy. We have Abu. You know, Abu is always here. Sikibo Coastman is always here. Commissioner Cole is in the classroom as well. Then we have it goes on and on. So this is what? Soji Flash. Then we have Marcos. Well, let me get on with it. This afternoon, as I said, we have so much to tell you. So much. So after the roll call, let's do the announcements. And the sad announcement, I regret to announce the death of a former member, Julian Haynes. Was my squad mate 94-17. I learned, I think it was Saturday, that Julian passed. You know, we all, our squad mate, Code 74. We are to observe we finish our 51st, but there's an activity at the end of this month to observe that. You know, we got to get together as often as we can because we're not getting younger. And as we said at the beginning of the program, it's a privilege to be in the land of the living. We don't know when the good Lord will say it's time to us to come. So yeah, my squad mate, Julian Haynes, passed Saturday, I think it was. I learned only recently that he had some health issues which led to the amputation of one of his legs and so on. Conrad, you got to take care of yourself. Huh? You have got to take good care of yourself, right? We did announce the death of Assistant Commissioner Rose. I haven't gotten the update on that as yet. People have been asking. No update. And also we did announce the death of the father of Deputy Commissioner Simon McBean. We're still waiting to give you whatever update we have. I want to take this opportunity to express condolences to the relatives, friends, family of all those deceased persons, and pray that the Lord give you this good strength to go through this difficult time. Now for the happier birthday greetings. Happier greetings, birthday. Today is the birth anniversary of retired Detective Inspector Bertram Matthews. Bertie, all the best. You know, I met Bertie back in 1980. As a young sergeant, I went to CID headquarters to train those people in the use of firearm and some tactical training. And Bertie was there at Special Squad. Man, we used to get a good time. Bertie, October, and those guys, I remember them well. We used to get a really, it was a very good relationship. Ulrich Landon was there too. I think Thomas Bizet was somewhere in the area. Yeah, so Bertie, enjoy your birth anniversary. Today is the birth anniversary of former finance minister and a very good friend of mine, Winston Jordan. Winston is 68 today. 68. And you know, Winston, over the past couple of years, they're doing Winston all kind of things. Brilliant man. They can't take brilliance, you know. They can't take brilliance. When you listen to Winston on Thursday mornings on CAMS TV, and he analyzes stuff dealing with finance and economics and so on. Brilliant, brilliant. They're doing all sort of thing. All sort of thing these jagabots are doing, Winston. So, Winston, you have gone around the sun another trip. All the best to you, my brother. Other birthday greetings we have. Birthday anniversary to well, today, you know, Winston indicated to me that former President Barack Obama, 64th birthday today. And Winston said, us Leos are great people, because I know I had mine. I had my 70th last week Sunday, not yesterday, Sunday before. I had my 70th Leos. And for those of you, let me just make it clear to those of you, students, who when the Commissioner Ikin celebrated on the 22nd of July, at least he observed it, that was the day. We are sure a year, how many years, but that was the day. Some people say, Leo, no, No, Leo is from the 23rd of July. So let me get it right. We're not the same planet with us. 23rd. Well, might not even be in the same or planet with us somewhere else. Not the same horoscope, but it might be in another um, somewhere else. So let me make that right. And today I have a special birthday greetings to my grandson. You think it's only CC can celebrate his grandson and boast about the grandson birthday. Today is my grandson 11th birthday. 11th birthday to Avery, Master Avery. And I gotta say, talented, brilliant young boy. He's a soccer star in the league. Almost every game he scores, and then he plays several musical instruments, trumpet, violin. So Avery, I'm gonna give you your birthday gift sometime by, but enjoy. So to all those who are observing today, who observed recently and thing, but we have advance to Kenrick Smith, the coach. Kenrick used to be in the police as an athletic coach. He is observing it tomorrow. And then we have Harold Hart. I think Harold number was 10636. He was correct. He used to be at the quartermaster store at some time. He is observing shortly too. Dwayne Caleb. Remember Dwayne used to be in traffic there and so on. He is observing soon. And also observing soon is Alan Sue. Alan, when I joined the force, I think Alan was there. I think his number was 8169 or something like that. I can't remember the number off the top, but I think somewhere in that vicinity, Alan is observing shortly too. So, birthday greetings to all those, as I've said, who are observing today, who observed it recently, and who will observe in the near future. Special greetings to Winston Jordan and every calendar. Right, let me bring in Mr. Conway, and then we're going to go into it. CC, welcome, my brother. Welcome.
Good afternoon. Thanks to be in the land of the living to do God's work. And we have to give praises to the Lord for allowing us to be in the land of the living. And we didn't have the program starting at 11 this morning because of me. I had my annual checkup. You know, you gotta do your checkup physically and otherwise, because as we get older, as we become geriatrics, we need to check on. So you get three main things, your sugar, your pressure, and your cholesterol. They are silent killers, and we need to check on them before it's too late. And now you get grandson, I get grandson too. And let me tell you about my grandson. Just like your grandson, Paul, my grandson is 11 years old. He get a warrior named Israel. And he is Sister Gabriela and his sister Cassandra. They're in the United States of America. And their mother, my daughter, they left on Friday and they're spending time in the United States. And I hear they're walking about on their own. First time in the States and they're trying to walk about on their own. So I hope they will enjoy the trip. And I miss them a whole lot. Anyway, let me say a couple of things. I have some miners that I know well, and they're deep in the Morodi Mountains, and they're students, and they're getting good reception. They're listening. So I want to wish them well. I hope that they find out the goal that they're looking for, but then they got to realize that there's a couple of things they got to look at: occupational health and safety, and the environment as they go checking for goal. And then I want to shout out to Desiree in the United States of America. I know she'll be coming back before the end of the month. She has God's work to do. So she'll be coming back before the end of the month to do God's work. And my Rastaman friend, taxi driver with a lot of red tattoo operating outside of Demico House. Shout out to you. I know you're doing well and I know you're a student. And this morning I was on the road and a woman come and hug me up. She said, "What you doing here? You supposed to be in the studio. You supposed to be in the program. And I don't miss you on your program. I always check it in the night." And she come and give me a big hug and Paul, she said, to tell you, shout out to you. And she's been living, she said, about 18 years in England. but she devoted around the places. So I want to shout out to her and birthday greetings to those persons that you mentioned and our sympathy to those persons that you also mentioned.
Marlon, yes, Marlon. You know the girls, Marlon. Come here today, see that the girls, man. You are the girls. You are the girls. Right? You are the girls. You want Europe. You want Europe men. And that's what you want. Now, let me say congratulations are in order for the acting Chief Justice, Madam Roxanne George, who was today sworn in as the acting Chancellor. This country, this country. So the acting Chief Justice, Madam Roxanne George, I understand, was today sworn in as the acting Chancellor. And Justice Navendra Singh was sworn in as the acting Chief Justice. And we understand that all this is because the acting Chancellor has proceeded on annualized leave. Annualized leave. So the acting Chief Justice, I don't know how this thing works. Don't ask me. This is way above my pay grade. So the acting Chancellor, acting Chief Justice, has been sworn in as the acting Chancellor. And Justice Navendra Singh has been sworn in as the acting Chief Justice. So congratulations to those persons who were sworn in as acting. Acting. It sounds a little confusing, but that is what it is. And let me tell you something now. The cricket is cricket, but the cricket is a wonderful game. Test cricket in particular. Don't worry, this T20 thing and this 50 over, that can't get me glued as how the test cricket, to see the ups and downs of test cricket. Ups and downs. Yesterday afternoon, you know, the match, India had an early finish yesterday because of the weather. And 6 wickets were down. And I think England needed something like 35 or 37 runs today. And a lot of people had written them off, said they can't make it because they had, they say in England batting all the way down to number 11. And then you had, of course, the guy there, the Oaks, right? He had some dislocated shoulder, and they say he mightn't bat. The man come out with one, but reminded me some years ago of Malcolm Marshall, West Indies in England. Marshall had a broken arm. He bowled with that, his left hand. He's a right-hand bowler. He bowled with the broken arm and terrorized them, came back and with one hand and make runs and so on. So we had this exciting match today. Let me tell you something. I got up this morning. I said, let me go and do my usual morning walk. Somebody said, Nabai, watch this game because it started at 6 o'clock. And I stayed back to look the game, and I did not regret it. I did not regret staying to look at that game. And they talk about all these pundits and all of that. Earlier, when the season started, when this tournament, when the test series started between England and India, they had a lot of the pundits, the commentators made predictions. Let me show you how they predicted. Right? This is the one at the top here, I think is Nasser Hussain. Yeah, Nasser Hussain predicted England will win the series 3-1. Then you have the only man who was correct. The only man is Dinesh Karthik from India. He predicted 2-2. This here is who? This is Michael Vaughan, another Englishman, predicted 3-1. Then you had the Alistair Cook, predicted England will win the series 3-1. Then you have here Dale Steyn from South Africa, predicting that England would win 3-2. Here we have Graham Swan, another Englishman, predicting England will win 4-1. We are here, this is Chopra, say 3-2. Then we had, this is Josh Butler, 4-1. Then you had David Lloyd, Bumbles said 4-0. Then you had here Phil Tufnell saying 3-1. And then you had Michael Clark. The only body went in India's favor. He said India would have won the series 3-2. But the series ended up drawn 2-2 as predicted by Dinesh Karthik. Only man that got it right. I hope he put some money. Well, you can't put money. Remember that. Can't bet on cricket. That's against the ICC rules. Once you're involved in any capacity as a groundsman, as a player, as a commentator, you can't bet on the game. But it was a fantastic game. It was a fantastic game. And kudos to the Indians. You don't give up. Those people fought right to the end. They did not give up. And Mohammed Siraj, oh my God, oh my Lord. Man dropped a catch. And everybody said, well, with that catch that he dropped, means that they're going to lose. But the man came back and the man did his thing. So congratulations to India on leveling that series. CC, I know he's a cricketer you want to say something to. Let me hear you.
Test cricket alive. And I think it's the best results too. I watch it and I was intrigued. Both sides play wonderful cricket. Both they show the fighting spirit. And I think the best thing happened was a 2-2.
Yeah, I think that was a fitting result. I think it was a fitting result. Both teams played good cricket. Both teams played excellent cricket. But when you look at the prediction, some of the English commentators are so biased. They believe that the best thing since sliced bread. So I was happy when the bubble get bust now. Now let me show you all this one as we move on. Let me show you all this. I want to know, somebody has asked me to find out, who is the minister of the government who is buying? I understand the minister buying this. This is a Rolls Royce. You see Rolls Royce black badge. Black badge Spectre. $559,875 US. That is the cost of this car. A 2025 Rolls Royce black badge Spectre. Well, yeah, if Bhagat was 69, then Sue was 59. I was trying to remember. If Bhagat was 69, yes, Bhagat was 69, and therefore Sue would have been 59, I think. Right, so, and we're talking there about the guy who had said birthday coming up, Alan Sue. I said it might have been 81, 69, but I'm being corrected by all police. Como say, Bhagat, Sex Bhagat was 81, 69. And therefore, I think Sue would have been 81.59. I got the numbers mixed up. Yeah, I understand somebody buying this car by almost 600,000 US for a car. What if they're going to look for duty and all them thing? What if they're going to look for all them harassment like how they harass Azuddin Mohammed? But I understand, I saw this floating around and it is said that this is to be bought or was bought by a current government minister. A current government minister. So let me wait and see what can happen. Let's wait and see. CC, can you imagine a government minister having the resources to buy a car for 600,000 US?
Why? I tell you, it won't surprise me, It won't surprise me because, it's corruption and more corruption. So it's even by Timothy don't get it already, man. So and GRA will maybe waive or something, You know the thing when GRA will waive or maybe they were instructed to waive the duty.
Yeah, well, let me see what can happen, Patrick Sex and Soul Bhagat, because we call him that because I think there was a album by Roy C. Sex and Soul, and Bhagat was the driver, used to just singing the old LP. So I think I am not sure if that is how he got the name, but I know he was a very good singer. A very good singer. These children very bright. I see they putting up some name as to who this car might belong. So I know. I am still trying to find out who the car belongs to. I trying to find out. But let me move on. What do I have to tell you? I have so many things to tell you here now. Now the topical issue. The issue is this promotion thing, right? It was not our intention to go into it in any great detail, but then it looked like they also for the damage control, and they're putting out the propagandists and so on to swing out other things. Now let me walk you all through back. Y'all be with us, right? It was on Wednesday. Friday was the first day. So I think Thursday or something like that, right? Police sent out a message to all the divisions and branches. And it says, it went like this. Please warn the following ranks who have been in their respective rank for the time frames listed below to report to officers mess annex on Wednesday, the 30th of July 2025 at the times indicated. Constables who have held the rank for 6 years, 6 to 9 years, should report at 8:30. Corporals and lance corporals who have held the rank for 9 to 15 years must report at 9:30. The first set was 8:30, this set at 9:30. Sergeants and corporals who have held the rank for over 20 years to report at 9:30. I said, note, ranks currently involved in disciplinary matters are not required to attend. That is what the message that went out, I think it was Wednesday morning. Following that, understand me clearly, because I see Big Smith and all them talking a lot of crap. Let me walk through this thing very sequentially and logically, right? Following that, the president had a meeting with the ranks and the police officers' mess annex. And he's reported to have said, I'm saying reported because I did not listen, I don't listen to certain people. I've said that, let me say, he said he got a vision. So he got a vision about this promotion, and therefore that is why he called his ranks to tell them that they were going to be promoted from the 1st of August this year. 1st of August, right? Friday they were to be promoted. Wednesday, the promotion was from the 1st of August. So the ranks assembled, and following all that he said, the ranks were told, the ranks were instructed that they have to now go and the people were there recording them, praising the president for their promotion. Some of them can join the force in 2030, after the thing. Praise. And look at the background. Look at the background. They were all there on the same background. So this is not something that was spontaneous. This is something that was arranged. It is alleged that the squatter instructed them to go and praise the president and so on. So they did that. People go and praise the president. Following that, the police issued a document, right? It named re-guidelines for submission of promotion nominations. Let me read it again. Let's say the heading is re-guidelines for submission of promotion nominations. And it goes like this: acting under the authority delegated by the Commissioner of Police, the Deputy Commissioner Administration hereby issues the following approved criteria governing the recommendations for promotion within the Guyana Police Force. These criteria are established in accordance with the administrative policies and the provisions of the Police Discipline Act, Chapter 1701, and shall take effect from the 1st of August 2025. You are hereby directed to submit recommendations for the promotions of junior ranks who fully satisfy the requirements listed below. It goes on. Constable to be promoted to lance corporal if they have 5 to 7 years in the current rank. And then it says they must be free of any current or past disciplinary charges or convictions under the Police Discipline Act or any other applicable law or regulation. Must have demonstrated consistent good conduct, efficiency, and dedication to duty, and supported by annual performance appraisal. Now let me stop right there, because the other ranks, let's say if you were Lance, if you were let me go on, Lance Corporal with 8 to 10 years in the contract, you're gonna be promoted to corporal. Same thing, you gotta be free of disciplinary charges. Past, they always say current or past disciplinary charges. That is what the memo said. Current or past disciplinary charges. So in other words, the interpretation there, even the don't want them going to interpret, mean that once you add a disciplinary charge at any time in your service, you were not eligible to be promoted. That is what the memo from DC admin said. And then he said, to be promoted to sergeant, you must have 10 to 13 years in your current rank. That is, if you're a constable, a lance corporal, or a corporal with 10 to 13 years, you are going to be promoted to sergeant, right? Same thing, you got to be free of disciplinary matters and so on, and all of that. Appraisal and all this other thing. And then the last category, that if you will be promoted, they say that if you have 15 to 20 years as a constable, a lance corporal, a corporal, or a sergeant, you're going to be promoted to inspector. 15 to 20 years in any one of the ranks. So if you're constable with 15 years, you are going to be promoted. That's what they say, to inspector. If you're a corporal between 15 to 20 years, inspector right away. Sergeant, the same thing. Lance corporal, so constable, lance corporal, corporal, sergeant. Once they add 15 to 20 years in whatever rank they had, in their respective ranks, they were to be promoted to inspector. That is what the thing said. So everybody come in and praise and they praise and praise. But we pointed out, first of all, the president has no authority. I hear Big Smith come and he's saying the president being the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. Nonsense. Or as Nigel Welch would say, nonsenseness. The police force is not part of the armed services. Let me read this. Because I did the research. Right? Let me get it here, man. I want to read this thing to y'all. And before I read it, because Big Smith came out today, sometime this afternoon, claiming that the ranks in the force have been contacting him to find out what is the position with the promotion. And he took it upon himself to try to tell them what this thing is all about. Yeah, a man who has no qualification in this regard, he telling them. He did say too that perhaps the Attorney General will clarify it on his program and all that. He says that that is Big Smith, that he is of the view that the president, being the commander-in-chief of the armed services, can make these promotions. No. Interestingly, when I take the thing, and it's there, y'all can go and Google it yourself. The first thing, when I asked the question whether the police is part of the armed services, the first word, they said no. Police force is not a part of the armed services. But in any event, we have a constitution that spells out in detail who can promote. We have a constitution, and see the man, the constitution might read y'all, who says the only rank the president can promote to, only ranks, is the commissioner of police and the deputy commissioner of police. That's what the constitution says. And it is a process. The president appoints commissioner of police, deputy commissioner of police, having had consultation with the leader of the opposition, and also consultation with the chairman of the Police Service Commission, who must first consult with the other members. So the chairman of the Police Service Commission has to consult with the other members. Then he consults with then the president summons him to consultation. He consults with the president in relation to the appointment of commissioner of police and deputy commissioners of police. Let me understand this clearly. The Police Service Commission is responsible for promoting ranks from inspector to assistant commissioner. So this thing about the president saying that people promoted to inspector, and he has absolutely no such authority. Absolutely no such authority. Coming to promote from lance corporal to sergeant, he has absolutely no such authority. And this is what the Constitution says. We know that the president is a serial violator of the Constitution, but this is what the Constitution says. So this nonsense that Big Smith coming and telling people that the president has no such authority. None whatsoever. I mean, the president operates as if he is a dictator. Let me show you all. The president operates in a particular manner, but the Constitution is there. The Constitution, the Constitution is the supreme law. It spells out in detail how these things are to work. The president has no role in promoting. And let me say this. I had the experience, because when I was the chairman of the Police Service Commission, I was the chairman from 2018 to 2021. This government came into power on the 2nd of August, 2020. On the 16th of September, I had a meeting with the president. The president wanted certain people promoted, right? Mentioned them by name. Asking why have they not been promoted. And I said, well, I don't know the specific cases, but I did mention 2 cases. I said, in general, there are certain criteria for promotion. You have to pass the appropriate qualifying examination, right? In one. So let me tell you that too. That if you are in order to be promoted to a corporal, you have to pass the appropriate qualifying examination. There's no requirement for you to be promoted to pass the examination to be promoted to Lance Corporal. Because there's a Lance Corporal, you don't have to pass. But to move from Lance Corporal to Corporal, you have to pass. There's no requirement for you to get there's no appropriate qualifying examination to be promoted to sergeant. But there are courses that you have to go through, station management course and all of those things, right? To be promoted from a sergeant to inspector or above, you have to pass the appropriate qualifying examination. Because sergeant can be promoted to inspector, chief inspector, officer and probation, but you have to pass the appropriate qualifying examination. To be promoted from inspector to gazetted rank, you have to pass the examination. That is what is there in the police standing order 22, right? So this thing what they tell you, so this is what they're talking about now, all gone through the window. There's no requirement for appropriate qualifying examination. The only, I should mention that back in my day, because I was integrally involved in this process, if you held the rank constable or lance corporal for 15 years without any disciplinary breach, you can be promoted to corporal without passing the examination. So if you have passed the examination, are you there for 15 years? Yeah. If you had good conduct and so on, right, you can be promoted. So let me understand how it goes. Now let me run to the thing about this armed forces thing what they talk about. The president is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. Police forces are not part of the armed forces. Let me repeat that. Police forces, not only the Ghana police forces are not part of the armed forces. Let me tell you who are the armed forces. They said no police force. They said no police force, or let me read it back. No, a police force is generally not considered part of the armed services. While both are involved in maintaining order and enforcing the law, they have distinct roles and functions. Police forces are responsible for maintaining public order and enforcing laws within a civilian context, while the armed services are primarily focused on national defense and military operations. Military police, however, are a part of the armed services and have a specific role within the military, distinct from civilian police forces. Right? Then it goes on. Here are more details. Let me get a little detail, a breakdown. Civilian police. The role of the civilian police and our role in the Guyana Police Force is in the Police Act, Chapter 16:01. So you can go and check it out. Your role and your powers, everything in 1601. It says here, the role of the police is to enforce law, maintain public order, and protect citizens within a civilian jurisdiction. In terms of context, they operate within a framework of civilian law and governance. In terms of training, focus on community policing, criminal investigation, and maintaining public safety. Examples we talk about, you come to the States, you talk about the local police departments, state troopers, federal law enforcement agencies like the FBI and all that. Because you know, in the States, you have local, you have state, and you have federal law enforcement agencies. Local have the jurisdiction locally, either in a town or something. State, the entire state, whether it's New York, New Jersey, state authority. Then you have federal. Federal is the whole country. In Guyana's case, we have a national police force. So you have jurisdiction all over the country. So you're not going to Borbies, and you can't even in the county of Borbies or the county of Essequibo. No, it's a national police force. You got to understand that, right? Then we talk about the armed forces, right? The role, defend the nation against external threats, engage in military operations, and maintaining national security. Context, operate under military law and the chain and a chain of command. The training focus on combat, strategic planning, and military tactics. And they say here, we're going to talk about the armed services. The Army. The Army is part of the armed services, a Navy. You get Air Force, Marine Corps, Coast Guard, and the military police. They are part of the military. They are part of the armed services. And the president is the commander-in-chief of those units, not the police. Not the police. So we understand this thing clearly. Now, let me bring in Mr. Conway. I have other things to say, but let me give Mr. Conway some of this. I have much more to say, but bring in Mr. Conway at this stage. CC, I'm sure you, a man like you, would have listened to what was being said. Let me hear you.
Yeah, Let me make it clear, pellucid. And I want to say pass, lucid, or convice. A reading from the Constitution of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, Chapter 101. And here it talks about promotion, appointments or other appointments of other members of the police force. Section 212.2. No, Section 212.1. Subject to the provision of Article 211.1, the power to make appointments to any office in the police force or above the rank of inspector, the power to exercise disciplinary control over persons holding or acting in such offices, and the power to remove such persons from office shall vest in the Police Service Commission. I don't think you hear me, so let me read again. Subject to provisions of Article 211.1, and I'm going to read Article 211.1 just now. The power to make appointments to any office in the police force of or above the rank of inspector, the power to exercise disciplinary control over persons holding or acting in such offices, and the power to remove such persons from office shall vest with the Police Service Commission. Clearly stating that the power to make appointments, disciplinary control, or removal from office rests with the Police Service Commission. And it talks about section 211.1. And 211.1 say, the Commissioner of Police and every Deputy Commissioner of Police shall be appointed by the President, acting after meaningful consultation with the Leader of the Opposition and Chairperson of the Police Service Commission, after the Chairperson has consulted with other members of the force. This is what they're done in writing, dealing with promotion of ranks from inspector to assistant soup, to assistant commissioner. Deputy commissioner and deputy commissioner promotion, it is an appointment according to the Constitution. Deputy commissioner and commissioner appointments. And the president, after meaningful consultation with the leader of the opposition and the chairman and the chairperson of the Police Service Commission, is there, not the president. And in terms of promotion of other ranks, here it says, the power to make appointment to any office in the police force below the rank of inspector, the power to exercise disciplinary control over persons holding or acting in such office, and the power to remove such persons from office shall vest with the Commissioner of Police. So this is the Constitution, and it's saying that, I repeat it myself, that the powers to promote anybody from inspector upwards is the Police Service Commission, and sergeants, corporals, lance corporals, it is the Commissioner of Police. It is in the Constitution, and the Constitution is the supreme law. The president is a creature of the Constitution. And Article 94 said that the president could be removed from office. Let me read it. Sorry, the guy going to say conversation. Let me read it. Just bear with me. Article 94. The president may be removed from office if he or she commits any violation of the Constitution or any gross misconduct. The procedure for removing him or her is prescribed in Article 180. So if he violates the Constitution and he's been doing that regularly, or any act of misconduct, he's been doing that regularly, but it's a big long process, because for really to remove it from office, part of the process is that you have to get 2/3 majority from the members of parliament, and they got to put a petition to the Speaker of the National Assembly, and then they will take it from there. But it's a big long Joanna process. But the bottom line is that the president is a creature of the Constitution. And I said before on several occasions, and any law that you will enact It got to work in accordance with the Constitution. It got to work in accordance with the Constitution. The president can't do as he like. And any law that collides with the Constitution, it is a fatality. It is death. You gotta bow down and say, mea culpa. Not like what they're doing in traffic. They say is an accident or an incident. And anything that collides is death. You got to bow down to the Constitution. The Constitution is the supreme law. Hey, they're talking about the president get executive power. He ain't get executive power when it comes to what is written in the Constitution. None whatsoever. And the president has been breaching it. He breached it with us when he suspended us. When he suspended us as members of the Police Service Commission, and Justice Gino Prasad ripped him to pieces, null and void, ultra vires, has no legal thing, and so the president, if the saying, or if thing come out, if you see the order that these people have been promoted, and even the president directs the commissioner to promote these men, it is political interference in the Ghana police force, which ought not to be. There must be no political interference with the police force. So if you tell the squad, hey, promote these 2,000 people or promote 200 people, and the squad, it is political interference in the Guyana police force. Over to you, Paul.
Yeah, well, let me say this as I said it on Friday. Article 94 provides for the president to be removed from office if he violates the Constitution or performs any act of misconduct. In our case, the judge held that the president violated the Constitution. However, the process to have him removed is a political process. The politicians did not pursue that. But I'm saying to us, Guyanese, all of us, elections are scheduled for the 4th of September. And we have an opportunity then to remove him from office. You can't get a president running the country and doing the own thing. They might say he gets some vision, and from the vision he come decide all the people them you get promoted. And several questions have been asked since, because the same Big Smith dancing with the thing today, talking about establishment. I am telling you, without any fear of contradiction, that all the, except maybe constable, all there are no vacancies in those positions. They got vacancy, I think, for one deputy commissioner, because they were 4, they changed the law to care of a 6. I think now, after the care of a 6, they appoint 5. Correct me if I'm wrong, CC. I think they appoint Mark Bean, they appoint Karimbash, they appoint Blanham, they appoint Watts, and they appoint Bodram. 5. So there's a vacancy for one deputy commissioner. Perhaps they're waiting for Butas to give the deputy commissioner. 1. I remember very well, assistant commissioners, there are 12. I remember from memory, senior superintendent 17. Superintendent, I think 24. I know them thing because I used to be a part of it. And therefore, when you set to do promotions, the first thing you have to check to see how many vacancies there are in any particular rank. And I'm talking here from all the ranks, because I used to be involved in the junior promotion board, and then I became the chairman of the Police Service Commission. I was involved in the scene. You check to see what vacancies are there. So let me understand this clearly. So let me say I get vacancy for 2 assistant commissioners, right? Vacant for 2 assistant commissioners. Now, once you promote 2 people, most likely you're going to promote them from senior superintendent. You have now a consequential created in the senior superintendent level. I remember you move 2 senior superintendents, assuming that they had all the requirements. You're moving 2 from senior superintendent to assistant commissioner. So therefore, you have created what we call consequential promotions in the lower rank as senior superintendent. So if, for example, there were 2 vacancies in the senior superintendent rank, and then you have 2 go up to assistant commissioner, you have now 4 vacancies in that. It's a process. You sit down and you work it out. You work it out. So you get the promotions, you get the vacancies, you look at consequentials, and you do the promotions. I am saying that with all this enough promotion they're thinking about, the establishment does not require all of those. And I made the point before, because you promoted, you increased the establishment for deputy commissioners. I did not do anything like that for the other levels. It's just political. And I'm saying this too without any fear of contradiction, right? The promotions are political. The Guyana police force, listen carefully, students, including the policemen who are here, I'm sure by the number. Share the life, share the life. The Guyana police force has one of the tallest administrative structures in the world. The Guyana police force, listen to me. The Guyana police force has the tallest administrative structure, one of the in the world. And the studies that were done by Capital Simmons and all that recommended that the structure should be flattened. What do I mean by that? You have from I think it's about 17 levels from constables right up. Let me call them. You have constable, you have lance corporal, you have corporal, you have sergeant, they have station sergeant. And let me explain that. There is a rank catered for in the Police Act 1601 called station sergeant. I'm not talking here about a sergeant who's in charge of a station. I'm talking about a rank called station sergeant. When Larry Lewis was commissioner, it was introduced or reintroduced. And the sergeant wore a crown similar to what the superintendent wore. That's what a station sergeant wore. The last station sergeant who went away due to attrition was Carla Cummins, 0838. She was stationed at Monkton Branch when she left. Then that done. So you get, again, constable, lance corporal, corporal, sergeant, station sergeant, inspector, chief inspector. You get cadet officer, assistant superintendent. And let me understand this thing here too. There's no rank called assistant superintendent on probation. There is no rank in the police force called assistant superintendent on probation. The rank is assistant superintendent. But the requirements for that are that if you were a sergeant promoted to ASP, or if you were an inspector promoted within a year to ASP, you were placed on probation. In other words, you're put there for them to observe you. So you have assistant superintendent, then you have deputy superintendent, then you have superintendent, senior superintendent, assistant commissioner, deputy commissioner, commissioner, 15 levels. And whereas in modern forces, such as those forces and so on in the UK, many of those ranks no longer says corporal and all these things don't exist. You go Barbados and place, corporal and all them nonsense, right? Because they say with the type of overlapping, it bogs up the system, because there's no distinct responsibility between a lance corporal and a corporal. In many cases, between the sergeant and the corporal, because you have corporals who would be in charge of stations and all of that. So the people had recommended that the structure be flattened. But no, they're flattening the structure. They're flattened. So you have all those levels. And as I said, the establishment, and as we were told on Friday last, in order to get paid every month, you got to submit to police, the finance ministry, the people who are actually in the force at the various rank, because that's how budgeting is done. They would have budgeted based on the actual strength at a particular time. So that when you recruit and that wasn't catered for, you got to go back to get budget for them to get paid and all this everything. So, they talk these things that they don't understand. They just come and they say whatever they want to say. And let me say this, I should have said this from the beginning. This is not an attack on the ranks, Let me understand it clearly. This is not an attack on the ranks, because there are some ranks who are deserving of the promotion with these long, long years. Many of them were denied promotion because of victimization. Many of them because they were victimized. People didn't like them for whatever reason, nothing to do with their performance. And let me say further, I'm bringing CC just now. Let me say further. In any management structure, when you talk about promoting someone from one level to the next level, it's not only how well the person is performing at that level. Let me repeat that. It's not so. Let's say you got a constable, and you're considering him or her for promotion. It's not only how well that person is performing as a constable, but a very important consideration is whether the person is capable of performing at the higher level. Let me understand this. Management training. You see, I went to University of Guyana. I had good training at the police staff college in the UK. I have training at FBI and other places. So I know these things. I know these things. So you can say, Amar is a good corporal. Yeah, good corporal. Yes, he's a good corporal. The question to be asked when you're considering promotion, is he capable of performing as a sergeant? And in many cases, you're going to answer is no. And therefore, that person ought not to be promoted. And that is why they broke up the system. Because in that case, back in the day, that's something called merit increment. So the man is a good worker, he's a good constable, he's a good corporal. He can't get promotion, he can't function the higher level, but he gets a favorable report and the money increase. He moved from one pay, level to another band within the range. That is how those forces were rewarded. But after the system was broken up, the only way you can reward a man financially now is promoting him to a higher rank, even though the person might not be capable of performing at that rank. And that is what has led to a great degree to the breaking down of the system. Because you're promoting people because they're 15, 20 years in a rank without consideration as to whether they can perform properly at the next rank. So you're promoting a man, for example, from a constable or a sergeant. You know how to write cash book. You know to prosecute in court. Because all those are requirements of a sergeant. You got to know to prosecute. You got to know to make out all them disbursement, receipt book and all them type of thing. But you're promoting them, and that is what is leading to the breaking down of the system. As led, I should use past tense. That is what has led, because a lot of people are promoted based on favoritism. You get people, let me tell you this. I'm going to reach out and tell you if they challenge me. You get ranks who join the police force. And because they are the relative of people, within 2 years, they got corporal, they got sergeant. There was a rank I spoke about on immigration, less than 2 years service. She was a sister-in-law of a senior man. Corporal right away in front of all the other people, them and so on. Can she perform? I don't think so. But because of favoritism, they promote them. Look, even that. When RP was acting, he cannot the functions of commissioner. Let me be correct. Cannot the function of commissioner. He went on some activity overseas. And it can without any authority, promoted people in the force, including Brutus Driver, who had a viral video where he go and cuss up, said nobody and take it back, no effing. Because when Appy came back, and Appy realized the illegality performed by Brutus, Appy said, cancel these promotions. And that driver, George, got out a tape where if you're expletive, nobody and taking back these effing promotions from me, Sergeant, Sergeant. And then what happened? They're going to complain to the politicians. Talk about political interference. They went and they complained to the politicians, and the politicians instructed Appy to recognize the promotion. So we are talking about professionalism and all that. There's no professionalism, none whatsoever, because of the political interference. You get people with serious breaches. Let me use Ramana as an example. He's the senior superintendent now. When he was an assistant superintendent station at Soku, the man applied for a summons for me to attend court on the 15th of October. Even though he didn't serve the summons according to the law. But I tell the law, I say, look, I and I didn't from when I come in. When I turn up to attend court in answer to the summons, the man is there to arrest me for the same matter. And then the man tell me in the court compound that he wants to read the caution of the charge to me. And what happened thereafter? The man is then promoted to superintendent. From assistant superintendent, a man who demonstrated that he didn't know the law, he don't know, he promoted to superintendent. All right, while he's superintendent at Soku, he arrested the lawyer, Tamika Clark, who's now a magistrate, because she advised her client not to give a statement to the police. He arrested her. He arrested her for that. The man comes somewhere, he must read something called compellability. How is compellable? How can a person be compellable to sign a statement? The man arrested the lawyer. The government was sued, the attorney general was sued, and the chief justice found in favor of Mr. Mika Clark. And what happened? The man got promoted after that to senior superintendent. Those are just a couple of examples. There are many, many more examples. Look at the one across the river, right? With this Adriana Young matter. The man I get a clue. The man is an assistant commission charge of a decision. He's a sailor, not a clue as to how a matter of that nature should be handled. But that's what you have. And I said before, that is not an isolated case. That is not an isolated case. CC, come and take a little batin, man. Because I'm getting the thing, I getting free, some easy bowling here. Go ahead.
All right. Let me just go back to establishment. And apparently there are no checks and balances. Because as I know it, when you're preparing money for payroll for the month, you have to show your establishment. Let's say for the sake of argument, the establishment say they have 75 sergeants, and you see the police claiming for 100. Nobody don't ask any questions. And the last time I checked, and then some time ago, they were overstaffed and sergeants by over 75. So nobody is looking at the establishment. No checks and balance from the Home Affairs, the Ministry of Finance, the other department. They must know it's overstaffed. And go back to discipline. I'm happy kind of way where they say that display, if you get display matter, you can be promoted. But it's Animal Farm. Part of what led to our unlawful suspension is that the president wants us to promote some people, as Paul mentioned. And here's some names of people that they want promoted that we didn't think. Karim Bash was a senior soup then. He's now a deputy commissioner. Stanley was an ASP. He's now a superintendent. Shiv Prasad Bacchus was a senior soup. He's now assistant commissioner. Jupiter, that special lady, she was an ASP. She's now a superintendent. Brutus was a senior superintendent only because you get trouble or you'll be a deputy commissioner. And the king of all, Prem Narain, was an inspector, and then he moved to superintendent, and he's now a senior superintendent. All that this payment is spending, and we say they can't get promoted because they get this payment. The president said, no, we must promote them. Now they're backtracking and saying that as long as you get this payment pending, you can be promoted. And even with the disparate ballot pending also, they say, even if you had before. And let me go to the Police Act. The Police Discipline Act. I don't think that enough policemen know about this area. Section 9.1. Say, particulars of all punishment other than extra duty, extraordinary drills, fatigues, or reprimand shall be entered on a defaulter sheet of members of the force concerned. 2. Any one or more entries in the defaulter sheet by a member of the force may, A, if that member of the force is or above the rank of inspector, be expunged from his defaulter sheet at the discretion of the commission in recognition of a subsequent act of good service performed by him, or if no disparate offense is committed by him within 3 years after the date of the last entry in the defaulter sheet. And B, if the member of the force is below the rank of inspector, expunged from this defaulter sheet at the discretion of the commissioner in recognition of a subsequent act of good service performed by him, or if no disparate offense is committed by him as mentioned in para A. So the thing is that if after 3 years you have no disparate matter, you have not been convicted for any other disparate matter, you can write to the Police Service Commission with the inspector to assistant commissioner or constable to sergeant. You can write to the commissioner of police, and he, at his discretion, it could be expunged from your record. So I'm saying, I'm suggesting to some people, those of you get matters, you should write for those matters, and 3 years, no further disparate matter. Write for it to be expunged because it can affect you later on. Because later on, when they want to give long service and good conduct medal, you're going to show that you had a disciplinary conviction. When after 3 years, it could be expunged from your record. And come back by promoting people left, right, and center. There's something called, I mentioned that in the rite of passage, that you need to go through certain training before you go to another rank. Before you go to another, you go through certain training. They gotta prepare you for that position. Yeah, they call it the rite of passage, and it's part of the succession planning of the police force. You go to certain training, some both local and overseas, so that you be prepare you. But what they do, they wake up Dr. Peter, they resurrect Dr. Peter, and they resurrect a lot of people. Peter principle, where they would promote a lot of incompetence. This list will coming up, if it come up at all, a lot of incompetence will come into play. Dr. Peter going to be very much alive. I know they get some outstanding people names mentioned who should have been promoted some time ago, but now Dr. Peter principle promoting incompetence going to be very, very active.
I muted to answer a call, and the promotion order is out. The promotion order is out. I don't know if persons have been promoted to inspector. I haven't been able to go through it, but the promotion order to Lance Corporal, Corporal, and Sergeant is out. It came out, and they say, let me tell you all, man, they don't often over get me thing. I get me thing, Promotion force order by the Commissioner of Police, Mr. Clifton Ikin, Friday the 4th of August 2025. And then it tells you, it say about, well, something miss out and so on. But they get corporals, they get corporals promoted. I guess they promoted to sergeant. The thing is not clear, and all of that. But we're saying, let me understand what happened here, The Commissioner of Police, so despite the talk and all the talk what the president said, they would have instructed Ikin to make the promotions. They would have instructed Ikin to make the promotions, and therefore, in essence, the thing would show that is the Commissioner of Police, and that is in keeping with the Constitution. It's the Commissioner of Police that to promote Lance Corporal, Corporal, and Sergeant. But I'm waiting to see if they promote anybody to Inspector. I'm going to check on it carefully because they have absolutely no authority to do so. Again, Commissioner promotes to Sergeant. So this order that comes out, where the Commissioner promote Lance Corporal, Corporal, and Sergeant, yeah, he has the authority to do so. But this is clearly political interference because he would not have done so unless the president came out as he did, or came in out as he did on Wednesday, and said these people are going to be promoted. Political interference. Clear political interference. Another indication or another aspect of political interference in the Guyana Police Force. And that is what is causing most of the problem, right? President said he get a vision. That's the way you run the country. You get a vision, you just come out the next morning and say, promotion, all the people. That's not a vision. You got a nightmare that lay down in the night, and Azadin Mohammed and all sort of thing going through their mind. Nightmare. It's a clear attempt to buy vote. Clear attempt to buy vote. I'm talking about buying vote. Let me say this because I saw a commentary on social media a while ago where it has been said, well, the fact that this order came out now really debunked that people were not going to be promoted because they're waiting to see how the joint services vote. Let me say this. We understand on the last occasion the joint services votes were not counted. I don't know how true that is. But I remember back in the day, that might have been 2001 or something, they had an election somewhere around there. Keith Lowenfield was the CEO, came to the police to brief us on joint services voting. And I saw a big problem with the joint services voting. And I objected strongly to the process. You know what they were doing? Your ballot came, because the ballot would come based on which the area you registered. So when joint services vote, even from East Coast, even from this region, that is how it will come. And you are your vote. Now they want to put that in an envelope. Your name is on the envelope. The ballot goes into the envelope. Your name is the envelope. And then it goes to the district that you voted you're from. I objected to that because I said that if you put a marked ballot in an envelope, with the name of the person outside. Who is stopping anyone when they want any one of the officials when they open this ballot to put it to the others now to take a peek to see how slow vote? Or I said, no, that ain't gonna work. I objected strongly. Larry Lewis was the commissioner then. Some of these officers who were there might remember that. And you know what was the compromise? I made the suggestion. I ain't bigging up myself, but I know dunce. I ain't going to wear cap alone. I said that the only way to resolve that is to get a second envelope. So the ballot, I hope these people understand this thing, The marked ballot goes into an unmarked envelope. And the unmarked envelope goes into this other envelope with the name. So that when this comes out, I said slow region 4. So when you open the first envelope, you take out this one, you know that this one mix up going to region 4, and then they open this, so you don't know who it relates to. That was my recommendation, and it was adopted. So I don't know that if the system is functioning properly, that they can know who you vote for. So don't worry, them thing what they're telling you. As I said, that was the recommendation which was accepted then. I think it was 2001. Right? Because I objected strongly, enough nice I made at the police conference room. My good friend Keith Lowenfield was there to explain the process, and I said, no, you put in my ballot in an envelope with my name and region on it. No, because anybody, any inquisitive person can open. They're claiming they open it instead of going and mix it, and they take a peek so they know who slow vote for. Not that I mind, because I'm telling you clear. I can tell you plain who I intend to vote for. Right? But I say in the fairness, because it's supposed to be a fairness where the vote is supposed to be secret. And in order to maintain that secrecy, that was the recommendation I made, and it was accepted and implemented. I don't know what they have now. Right? So I'm saying you got a president get up and say, get vision. I got a vision, and therefore you come to address all these people. You're promoting people. No proper assessment. And a lot of the people now are going to be disappointed because they claim that over 2,000 people came there on Wednesday expecting to be promoted based on what they were told. Then the conditions were then put that if you had pending disciplinary matters, and the most egregious part, that if you ever had a disciplinary matter, that was never the process in the force. Never, ever. If you had a pending disciplinary matters, you were not considered for promotion until that matter was concluded. Right? But if you had a matter that was there for over 2 years, after 2 years, you are eligible to be considered for promotion again, despite the disciplinary conviction that you would have had. You're entitled to be considered for promotion. But then what happened? As Mr. Conway read it a while ago. If you have a conviction for more than 3 years, 3 years have passed, you can write and ask for it to be expunged from your record, to be taken out completely from your record, right? You can ask that. You can ask it to be taken out of the record. Here, understand this, ranks. Understand this. 2 years, after 2 years, you are eligible to be considered for promotion. After 2 years. After 3 years, you can write and ask for the matter to be taken out, to be expunged from your record. You gotta know these things. You gotta know your rights. They're gonna tell it to you. We are going to tell you your rights. So if you are an inspector above, you write to the Police Service Commission. And if you are below, you write to the commissioner, ask that this matter. You got, of course, you got to get your details. I was charged on such and such a date. Fine 1, they pay 2, they pay another. 3 years have expired, and 3 years have elapsed, and in accordance with section so of the Police Discipline Act, you hereby make a request for this thing to be expunged from your record. You got to understand. So that's where we just come and we teach you. We teach you. We can't going to teach you, right? Now let me go on to say, as I said before, well, the special order was asked about the special order. And let me tell you, because we understand Wednesday, once this announcement was made, this quarter tell you, go to the quartermaster store and collect. And what authority would the quartermaster store be issuing badges of rank to people? Because you can turn up and say, the commissioner tell me I get corporal, commissioner tell me I get lance corporal, commissioner tell me I get sergeant. These people are crazy. It's dunce the dunce, you know. How can you? They must send people go to the stores now to collect, and people turn up. People turn up. Once a promotion is made, there's a special order or the regular force order. Because this count on Friday, nothing wrong with that. But it's an order indicating the promotions. And it's on the basis of the order that the quartermaster will issue you with your badge of rank. In the absence of the order, the quartermaster store can't issue no badge of rank. Cannot. In the case of the Police Service Commission, right, the individuals are written to. You get promoted to inspector and above, you are written to. Now, prior to 2018, when we went into the commission, what happened is that the promotion list is approved at the commission level. It is taken to the Commissioner of Police. Normally, it used to be on Old Year's Day, the 31st of December. Taken to the Commissioner of Police. Commissioner of Police now will then incorporate that into this special order. And then the Commissioner of Police will write to the individual ranks to tell them that they were promoted. Now, we stopped the part. We stopped that. We said that if the Police Service Commission promoting you, then the Police Service Commission should write you. And that is what we did. Every single person was promoted in 2018, 2019. They were written to by the Police Service Commission to tell them that they were promoted. And the date, the effective date, because that is a problem too. So you see all these people promoted here now from the 1st of August. All of them getting the same date. So there's no people. You have to understand this thing, you know. So you're gonna be losing seniority by not by rank, by date of appointment. So a man who joined the work, let me say they promote a man who had 6 years service, promoted to corporal. You had 1 million years service more than me. All y'all getting the same date now. So no seniority goes forward. And that is one of the things we changed when I've been in the Police Service Commission. I worked on it personally to make sure that people were not deprived of their promotion date because, as we said before, there is a fixed establishment that make a mess of this thing. So on December the 19th, 2024, when the president promoted the deputy commissioners and the commissioner, all of them get the same date, 19th of December, 2024. Everybody get the same date. Madness. So people who are senior, because I know Mark Bean was a senior man, he lost his seniority. Everybody get the same date. Whereas, and I had worked it out here, and I mentioned it, whereas you're supposed to go back to see how the deputy commissioners came off or retired. Right? Either they retire, and from the date the person retired, the person is supposed to get that date. So when you write this thing, you promoted to deputy commissioner from such and such a date, Vide John Jones, who retired. Or Vide, or in place of, let me use proper language you can understand, in place of this body who died, who retired, who resigned. So the thing is continuous. That is how it should work. Right? Oh Lord. Oh, Selwyn, take it easy, man. Look, Selwyn, if anybody get disrespectful, I can look at them and I can take it off. So please, Selwyn, don't follow them up. I just glance across and I see comments being made about who get bugged and all them type of thing. I'm not learning about him, man. I'll take it easy. I'm going to look at it. I'm going to expunge that comment because this is not the place for that type of comment. Let me bring in CC, and while CC is talking, I'm going to look to see what is the. Somebody said no song. Check your system, Harold. I'm going to look to see the offending remark, and I'm going to take it out from the chat. So CC, over to you.
Yeah, Paul. And the thing about promotion, you're correct, is that you gotta get dates.
Hold on, CC.
I remember when.
Hold on, they're saying no song. 2 persons said no song, but my system showed that my mic is on. My mic is on. So let me make sure that you're all hearing me. I'm talking to myself. Can you hear me, students?
I'm hearing you.
All right. If you hear me, we're hearing. All right. Go ahead, CC.
Loud and clear. Yeah, just to support your point, in terms of you getting dates for promotion, that the dates got to be backdated. I can recall when I got assistant commissioner, I was Commander Lenoro, I remember Commissioner Felix called me and said, "Congratulations, you're now an assistant commissioner." I said, "Thank you." He said, "Hey, but I got the news for you, man." I said, "What, Skipper? You're backdated 3 years." So I got 3 years backdated. I think I got about $1.8 million backdated. So when you're giving people the same date, they're losing a lot of money. When the police go up on the road and take a bribe, you want to kill them. Now when they're legally entitled for money, you're depriving them of their money. You know, they need to look seriously about it. And I want to see who they're gonna make inspector. There's a story. There's no police service commission. We mentioned that over and over. The term has expired. It's a 3 year term and it finished in May. And this government not looking in terms of being strategic. They knew 3 years ago that this term would have ended, and they should have put systems in place to make sure that proper nominations were made to Parliament, and the select committee would have looked at it and submit the nominees to the president, so that you can have a police service commission. You can't get police force operating without a service commission, and because the service commission is for appointment, is for disciplinary control, and it's for removal of office. Just as how we got the one that is sanctioned, where they had 4.4 tons of cocaine, they found at Matthews Ridge. And here he got in the region this morning, touched down with a plane 9 hour roll. He did a uniform, but he gone in there, a police vehicle, pick him up at the airport, and they gone some way. I know he gone for advise people in terms of cocaine smuggling and fuel smuggling and other irregularities. But then again, he's there, and if they cannot take any action against him because there's no police service commission, none whatsoever. So no action can be. He can get float around and he can get pay and he can do all kind of thing there. But he's now in Region One. Perhaps he's gone there to give advice in terms of drug smuggling and fuel smuggling and financial irregularities that is taking place in the region there.
Yeah, I think I said I removed that offending comment because I found it offensive. I removed the comment, and let me apologize to you on behalf of the other students. And here, let me tell you something. I am these teachers are not permitting those things. As I've said, I don't normally look at the comments because it tends to distract you. But I saw the comment from Selwyn, and then I went back up. I found the offending comment, and I removed it. And let me warn the student, please desist from that, or else I'm going to block you altogether. I'm going to ban you. Please desist from that type of behavior on this this platform. It's not a platform for you to talk about that type of thing, right? I'm trying to run to see. I forget to make a note of the person's name, right? So let me understand. This is that I'm not gonna tolerate that type of behavior on this platform, right? So all right, let me move on. Among the things the president said, this. Let me say this. This subject ain't done. We gotta come and we gotta explore. We gotta explain in detail. President telling people, obviously the president ain't nothing to say, right? The president is an haunted man. He telling them they must get fit or they must clean the environment and all them things is a promotion. Let me tell you all students, policemen and all, that if you're gonna get fit, which is good advice. Don't get me wrong, good advice. But do it the traditional way. Eat right and exercise. Let me repeat that. If you want to get fit, you must know your BMI, your body mass index. You must know your body. And I know getting fit physically, but make sure them things inside walking, as CC said this morning, go and get your checkup. Let it tell you about your blood sugar. Let it tell you about your pressure. Let it tell you about your cholesterol, which is the lipid profile. Go and get your checkup. We saw only recently a seemingly healthy assistant commissioner, Raphael Rose, just dead. The man just died. You have got to check yourself, check yourself. And that is where they should come in. The force welfare people should have a program, a policy to ensure that members of the force, especially when they reach a certain age, are made to undergo physical checks and so on. But the president advised for you to get fit. It's a good advice, but I'm saying to you, do it the old-fashioned way. Exercise, eat right, not by using all them fancy drugs again now, like Ozempic and all them type of thing, right? Because I hear a lot of them, they're for Ozempic. We saw them pining away because I am no medical doctor, but I believe when you look at the images of some of those people within a year or two, show off tremendous weight. I don't know how healthy they can be. I don't know how healthy it is. But if I were you, I am going to make sure that I do proper checks. Proper checks. Right? Well, talk about the environment. President got to tell people that's going to be a consideration too for advancement. How you keep the property and body standing order, check the standing order. Standing order talk about all them things, about how you got to maintain vehicles and all those things. All of those things is standing order address. All of those things. Yeah, and you know, somebody told me the other day, somebody said they're losing weight. They're losing weight so rapidly. They're looking like man mackerel. Is a term I didn't hear a long time. They look like man mackerel because the male mackerel fish supposed to be very slim. So the person said to me, they saw a certain image and that person looked like a man mackerel. Y'all be careful. Y'all be careful. All them fancy things y'all drinking, right? Either for believe that you're a stud or you're drinking stuff to make sure you lose weight. Be careful. Yes, it can happen, but make sure you talk to your doctor. Make sure you get proper checkup, right? Let me go on. We now come off of this thing easily. As I said, we're going to come back. Mr. Conway spoke about the challenge. Since when? They're sending out a memo to say that if you got pending disciplinary matters or you had any matter at all, you're not eligible to be considered for promotion. Since when? When I told the president that Brutus and Karimbash could not be considered at that time for promotion because they had pending disciplinary matters. The man hit the roof. That was on the evening of the 23rd of December, 2020. The man hit the roof. And thereafter, the very next day, the 24th of December, 2020, ropes and scoot and shoot Ben, communicate with Appy, with a whole list of people we want charged criminally because he realized that some of those persons were shortlisted for promotion. And therefore, their reasoning, if their people were not shortlisted because of pending disciplinary matters, we're going to put criminal charges on those and have them taken off as well. The list, I have the list. Talking about lists, let me digress to tell you. I understand that there's a list. You know, people say they get a list, the sanction list. And I hear, you know, Gabby, the mighty Gabby out of Barbados sang a song, the list. Everybody know that there's the days of AIDS. AIDS, who think the list? Gabby sang. They got a list now, and everybody want to know if they are on the list. Some men going around, senior officers and others going around like Jumbie board. You know Jumbie board? I go in the back dam as a little boy. They get them board all, ooh you board. The board gives a song, ooh. So your son give me calling you. Ooh. I hear all of them now related to Jumbie board. So they're going around finding out, who they put the list. The sanction list we're talking about. The sanction list. All them trying to find out. You do nothing, fear nothing. Who on the list? Yeah, Chisel, they're going around, they're asking one another, you hear anything? Is who they on the list? Are you on the list? They want to know who is on the list. But the time will come. If and when the sanctions are imposed, we're going to all know. There's no secret. That's how we know that the Mohammeds were sanctioned. They don't want to remind you that May Thomas got sanctioned at the same time. Right? So we're going to remind you. They don't tell you that when the sanctions were issued by OFAC, it was Asruddin Mohammed, his father Nazar Mohammed, the companies associated with them, and May Thomas, the permanent secretary of the Ministry of Home Affairs. But they're stark as if she didn't involve anything. And to the banks who stopping, I understand now, the South Demerara Bank, GBTI follow suit. I understand Citizens Bank might not follow suit. To sever relations with people who are back in the Win Party. That's a party we invest in Guyana, something, the Win Party, whose presidential candidate is Azudin Mohammed. They're stopping, they're discontinuing the arrangement with them. So I want to know, because we were told, this nation was told that May Thomas was sent on leave, administrative leave. Remember when the thing happened, the motion for Ministry of Home Affairs, they took her somewhere else. I think it was Labor or somewhere there. And then the thing skin up, they said she was sent on administrative leave. If she's sanctioned and she's sent on administrative leave, how she getting paid? Is she being paid through some bank? Is she being paid with cash? Because once she getting paid, I am saying that you too are violating the conditions of the sanction, because you are the person still employed with you, and you are facilitating them by giving them money. So they come with this one-sided thing. May Thomas was sanctioned. May Thomas sanctioned. You got a senior superintendent of the police, Imran Shah. He's sanctioned too. But he's up on administrative leave, so he's still getting paid. So I guess y'all want to tell me, well, there's a different type of sanction, because the first set was sanctioned under the Magnitsky Act, Global Magnitsky Act, and he was sanctioned for drug smuggling. So you're going to treat him differently. Like, these people are mad, and that is why we going to come and we're going to explain everything to you. As I've said, I'll get something on the show before I bring in CC. Part of this whole unprofessional conduct by the police, right? Look, we spoke again, the other Sergeant Johnson, female Sergeant Johnson, in charge at the time they said East Acquaintance Police Station. She gets a cup, she gets a PPP clothes, and she have up Jack Dio. And I made the point then, and I'm repeating it here for emphasis. All police ranks have a constitutional right to support whatever political party they want to support. Right? Hold on, let me do this. Somebody, let me take out this comment, man. They're attacking Selvin again. Y'all getting personal on this thing. I'm going to ban some of y'all. Yeah. So you have a constitutional right to support whichever political party you want to support. But it is against the regulation, and it is inappropriate for serving police ranks to be dressed in any party uniform, polo shirt, cup. Look what happened. This is a recent one again. Look. They said this is an inspector station, Chedijagan International Airport, and this is a sergeant station somewhere. It's unprofessional conduct. And they're not going to talk to them. They're not going to do anything. But the police constable who shook Azudin Mohammed and get immediate transfer. How can that be right? And I say, y'all have an opportunity on September 1 to correct all of this. It can't be right. There's nothing wrong with this inspector. I think he named the Cruz or La Cruz or something like that. Nothing wrong with him deciding that he's supporting the PVP. And the other one, I don't know his name. Nothing wrong. Johnson, nothing wrong with Johnson supporting the PVP. But as serving members of the police force, you are not allowed, as any professional will tell you, you're not allowed to put on PPP clothes, PNC clothes, WIN clothes, none. You have got to at least give the appearance of being impartial. But they're allowing that. And why they're allowing that? Because you got the commissioner of police. The commissioner of police scripting the campaigning at the college, and it is alleged that he campaigned at the college and so on, telling the recruits they want a better life, they must vote for PPP. Vote them out. Vote them out. I remember years ago, I was a young officer, 1985, elections on the 14th. There people, right, you know, the ruling party always get enough money. So I think you should write vote PNC for the road and the quarantine. And then PPP supporters used to come just put the word out behind. They get money for and them days. Now they get money, they get big bucket. Out. Vote them out. Vote them out. That is what it is. We got to vote them out. So again, nothing wrong with these people having or decide to support a particular party, right? Nothing is wrong with that, but it is inappropriate. It's against the regulations for them to be, as a matter of fact, I spoke to an attorney not so long ago. It is under section 4D7 and 4Z. 4D7, you act in a manner likely to bring discredit on the reputation of the force, whatever little reputation they have. Section 4D7 of chapter 1701. And under section 4Z, conduct yourself in a manner prejudicial to good order or discipline. Because when you do that, that is prejudicial to the good order or discipline. You have other members of the force who may backing other parties. How they think they're going to relate and look at you. Prejudicial conduct. But they can a campaign, presidential campaign. They bring James Bond on Radio Ivlery for campaign. So what you expect? And that is why police, the little image that they have, and that's why people don't respect the police. People don't respect the police. And a man, I like James Bond. Let me tell you all something. The story with James Bond, maybe you could understand me. Let me tell you, James Bond. It was a story with, let me give you a background. James Bond used to be PNC. I think he was a member of parliament at one stage. Right? All right. At one stage, he ran for the leadership of the PNC. Of course, unsuccessful. Right? Unsuccessful. Then James Bond decided that he abusing out Nandalal and the PPP. Here's what James Bond wrote on the May 8, 2020 on a Facebook post. Anil Numskull, and I guess he's referring to the Attorney General. Anil Numskull. Well, he could have been Attorney General then. Right? Anil wouldn't have been Attorney General then. So he said Anil Numskull. And the PPPC spent all post-election cycle attacking the chairman of GCOM, Justice Clarence Singh. Spent all post-election attacking CEO of GCOM, Keith Lowenfield. Spent all post-election attacking Mingo, REO of District 4. Spent all post-election attacking the old GCOM. Now Mr. Numskull rises to defend GCOM when he and his party deliberately compromised its system, bribed officials, bought ID cards, voted for persons dead and migrated. And what do him? A mad, you know, your name calling Numskull, your name calling Sinsman Repo. AP and UFC isn't attacking GCOM. We are helping GCOM and Guyana to understand the gravity of the PPP onslaught. We must bring this to light. Some people think the PPP are saying, well, they're in. If you like this thing, share it. That is James Bond. Let me bring a next one. And I'm going to show you all the motive, you know. All these things don't happen in vacuum. They don't happen in a vacuum. Then y'all try to read this one. I can read it, but y'all try to read this one too. Where it is. Here it is. Here. Right. This is James Bond. 00 not license to lick Batty. Now, here what he says is, this is March the 2nd, 2017. James Bond. This is the thing say, and he pays. Bring back what? And who? When you say bring back the PPP, see? Or bring back Jagdio, please understand, you're saying the following. Bring back 16% VAT. Bring back extrajudicial killings. Bring back rampant corruption. Bring back a weakened security sector. Bring back raping of our natural resources. Bring back one race dominating the other in the foreign service. Bring back no youth policy. Bring back money laundering. Bring back drug trafficking. Bring back antagonizing the ABC countries. Bring back gold smuggling and bring back an insecure judiciary, a stink and dirty Georgetown. Bring back friends and family. Bring back a compromised Guyana Revenue Authority. Bring back no public procurement commission. Bring back executive ministerial lawlessness and something else. That's what James Bond wrote, you know. That's what James Bond wrote. I guess he didn't get Kira then. He didn't get Kira. But, you know, motive, you know. Motive. Remember, I told y'all they got a man named Larimer, Kevin Larimer. Man sentenced to 9 months imprisonment for fraud. And there's a committal warrant. Somebody corrected me. I think I made a mistake. I said commitment, not commitment. Committal warrant, which is different from commitment warrant. I'm glad when my students correct me, man. We are lauded. A committal commits you to the prison, right? You ain't got to prison yet. You ain't in the hospital. You ain't in the police. You ain't in the prison. So James Bond maybe hoping. Let me read what the matter is. James Bond got a matter. Hear what it says. It's too long. I'm going to read it. James Bond land case still before the court. This is April the 22nd this year. The land case involving former PNCR member James Bond remains before the court and is currently at the trial stage. Bond was detained in 2020 in connection with the alleged fraudulent award of state lands at Plantation Petersall, East Bank, Demerara. The charges stem from transactions that took place between August the 1st, 2017 and November the 30th, 2020. In the first charge, Bond, along with former National Industrial and Commercial Investment Limited, which is NISIL official Calvin Eat London, and associate Eddie Dulal, is accused of conspiring to defraud NISIL and its shareholders, the Georgetown of Guyana, that is what it says, the Georgetown of Guyana, by facilitating the lease of plots A7, A8, A20 at Petersall without board or cabinet approval and for purposes not aligned with NISIL's mandate. A second charge alleges that Bond and East London conspired during the same period to defraud the state of its interest in plots A17, A18, and A19, also located at Petersall, again without the required approvals. The third charge involved East London and Bond and Richmond, who are accused of conspiring to fraudulently lease plots A1 through A4 of the same plantation under similar circumstances. Bond was granted bail in the sum of $50,000 each, and then they say in late 2020, the Special Organized Crime Unit and the Guyana Police Force began investigating the matter after receiving three case files from Attorney General Anil Landal SC concerning the suspicious leases of several acres of prime state land at Petersall. So Bond charged them before the court. Nonetheless, let's say, send the file to Soku. Soku clapped 3 charges for me, he on bail. And maybe that is the motivation for joining. Because once you join the PVP, a party of criminals, you got enough of them there. You get, and in case they want to challenge me, you get Kwame Mackay convicted. Kwame Mackay is a convicted. You get a man up on the list there, Jason Abdullah, convicted before the court. You get Dharam Lal, an accused rapist. You get Jack Neo, accused, what they accused, taking bribe. All of them for the thing. You got Berry, strip and slap, Amsterdam, all them there for the thing. So that's what you have. So maybe the man run there now to see if he can get a little coverage. Let me bring in CC. For as I said before, this matter with the police promotion and done so. And again, we're not attacking the ranks who have been promoted. There is a system, and we're saying that you must follow the system. We must follow the system. And if you believe that the system is not adequate, then you must make the appropriate changes. Now you wake up, you say you got a vision, and you come in and say to promote people. And as was said, a lot of people are going to be disappointed because they were led to believe that there were no conditions attached to this, except for the fact that you have to be in the rank for certain years. But now they come to talk about all sort of things. Let me bring in CC, man. CC, just make your remark and your closing, and let me move on, man.
All right. And we're talking about the list, you know, who name on the list and when this list going to come out. There are some very senior officers understand they jump the gun already because they went to the bank and they withdraw the large sums of money that they had there. Withdraw the money, close the account. Some very senior police officers that in case they don't check down for money, People, but the only they get is a paper trail. Like when Sergeant George, Brutus driver, when they rush to the bank, the man they already withdraw the 500, the $50 million that he had down there, and gone with it. So all I get is paper trail. So understand these senior officers now they all gonna left is paper trail. And talking about this promotion, they talk about reports, annual confidential reports. Paul, you asked the last time, when last somebody wrote an annual confidential report for a junior rank or even a senior rank? I think you say you'll put your neck on the block, but I can't chop off your neck because I can put my neck there too. Let anyone them come and show when last they write an annual confidential report. And those things are important for promotion purposes. Very, very important for promotion purposes. Part of it is if a person is likely to qualify in time for being promoted and a whole lot of things there, but they ain't doing nothing. Just people, just they know they're not doing no kind of writing, no work on conduct of people. And then the president flying like a seagull with he vision, turn up the whole thing and say, hey, these people got to be promoted. These people got to be promoted. Lance Corporal, Corporal, Sergeant, inspectors. Well, I heard a list of the Lance Corporal to Sergeant thing. Let's look for the inspectors list. And let's see what is going to happen. And I'm still saying that election coming up, and so far the commander nor the deputy has not gone to Monkey Mountain, hasn't gone to K2, hasn't gone to Paramatakai, hasn't gone to Orangeuk, even for tests on the readiness of the police there for elections. The ranks they got a lot of issues. Remember, I was commander for at one time region 1, 7, 8, 9, and 10 at the same time. They're not visiting. They hold up in a hotel at Maja, then getting away. And allegations are money is being collected to show that they have gone and visited those places. And look at the financial situation at region 1. I see the former man gone back in there said today. They say, unlike Brutus, he gone in CVs, police vehicle pick you up. I know where they gone with it. Look at financial irregularities at quartermaster stores. The police finance office itself, we're talking about millions and millions and millions of dollars being misappropriated. Nothing is being done. We can get worse than Brutus. It's going to be worse than Brutus. Or as we used to say in our small by days, it's going to be worse.
Yeah, thank you, my brother. Thank you. Let me respond. Now we don't respond to certain comments and so on. But let me put this one up. They got someone they come, he say name, I know it's a real name. Say under the PNC dictatorship, hundreds of thousands of Ghanaians fled to foreign countries. But I want to tell you, in case you're Rick Van Twinkle, that in the 23 years and 528 years that PPPC in government, an equal number or equal or larger number fled. Even now, they're like today, with all the oil resources and so on, people still fleeing. So we understand this, Rampal, people still fleeing. People still, and here let me tell you, we're fleeing. Of course, ice catching some of them and send them back. People continue to flee from 1992 to 2015. Hundreds of thousands of Guyanese fled. PP come back into office in 2020 to now. Thousands more are fled. So what you're talking? What are you saying? But perhaps you're one of them people, no student left behind. So y'all can't reason things out. They might have fled during, you calling PNC dictatorship. But let me tell you now, y'all let's talk about PNC dictatorship in Bornham. Them shit were going on here now, never happen in them days. I've been around little long. It is worse now. The interference without any subtlety. Look at the Wednesday thing we referred to. President just thought up and said people can be promoted. That is dictatorship. He has absolutely no such authority. No finesse, where you perhaps you call the commissioner and say, well, look, we want to have some people promoted and so on. And then the commissioner can jump and promote. President making the announcement. That is dictatorship. Look, you had the case with the Adriana Young, who made the announcement of the postmortem result. It's the president sitting at the thing. That is dictatorship. That is dictatorship. Right? So I like when you come, you come. I can deal with y'all. I will deal y'all when you come. That's like how somebody asked me to correct this statement. I have to correct because on Friday, when Priya Manik Chan come and talk about our ancestors, right? I said, well, descendants or whatever she said. I said she ain't black. So how she can talk about emancipation ancestors? So I said she ain't got no black in she. Somebody asked, how you know that? How you know that she does not have black in her? So I got to admit that I can't say that because she might very well have black in her, right? Might very well have. Now I want to play this. I have not played this for a long time to show you about corruption. So y'all bear with me. We got a few minutes. Play with me. I gotta play this.
Corruption is a vile disease that sucks and drains the health out of something good. Corruption in society is an evil moral infection that keeps community in a state of perpetual sickness. Corruption is a moral virus. It's so potent it leaves its host sick, lethargic, and unable to realize and accomplish all that a well person can. Where corruption thrives, poverty and not prosperity thrives. Wealth is grabbed into the greedy, grubby hands of those who get fat on the toil and labor of good people. Corruption benefits, only temporarily, those who participate in it. Everyone else is a victim of the theft, the deceit, the dishonesty, and the lies that corruption feeds on. You need to know that a corrupt person is stealing from you. Corruption is filthy work and despicable acts of treachery done under the table and behind closed doors. Corruption is a disgusting shame. Corruption keeps a nation back from true development and from progress. Wise investors steer clear of a corrupt environment. They would rather put their resources into a place where the playing field of opportunity is equal for all and not bent towards feeding the financial lust of corrupt, lying, cheating, thieving politicians and government officials. How many wonderful development projects have been lost because the investors didn't want to do business in a swamp of evil? When those great projects go to another nation or to some other place, we all lose. Believe me when I tell you that corruption steals from you, it steals from all of us. Corruption plunders the nation's wealth. Corrupt people compromise on truth, equity, and fairness, choosing instead to feed off the short-term benefits of crookedness, exploitation, and financial perversion. Corruption is not just a personal matter. It's a culture. It's a way of life, not just for individual people, but for companies, communities, governments, and nations. Corrupt nations, hiding behind large companies, will seek to invest in other weak nations in order to take over the assets of the nation that they've invested into. They will provide financial loans to a nation for the much needed infrastructure, and they will do it with assets that they provide. They will sign contracts by lining the pockets of rotten government officials who participate in this kind of corruption and are then held hostage by their own deceit and greed. Corruption is nothing less than a form of theft and national robbery. A corrupt person steals from everyone in society. We all lose when corruption is rampant. Those who participate in corruption have chosen evil over good, lies over truth, and personal gain over well-being of all. To be corrupt means to be rotten. When meat is corrupt, it's rotten, and it stinks. Rotten meat can't be eaten. When a person is corrupt, he's rotten and unfit for a place in the community. A corrupt person should be jailed in order to protect society from the vile deeds of the corrupt person. Government should be protecting us from the foul results of corruption instead of being the proponents and participants in corruption. When corruption is systemic, when it's a culture and a way of life, when corruption thrives, it destroys the health of the community and nation. Now let me tell you something. Defeating corruption is a very difficult thing. The love of money is the root of all evil, the Bible says. People who love money will do almost anything to get it. Those who choose to stand up against corruption, you need to know that we're going to be involved in a war. We will be threatened, vilified, intimidated, marginalized, and ridiculed. These kind of people who stand up against corruption will often feel alone, as if they are the problem instead of the solution. Corruption can only be defeated when enough people have had enough and decide to do something about it.
Yeah, we have had enough, and when we decide to do something about it on September 1, that's when we're going to defeat corruption. That is when. Corruption. Imagine, as we said before, a man, well, allegation, $600,000 US of car. Where can a minister of government or any government official get the type of money legally to buy a vehicle? Now, one of the students said to me that he suggested that maybe I missed a rank when I gave you the ranks in the force. He said there used to be a rank of assistant commissioner. No, there's no such rank. There's no such rank. What happened is that the most senior of the assistant commissioners wore a PIP in addition to the Laurel cross stave. That's a distinguished seniority, but that is not catered for in the Police Act. The last person to have worn that was Cyril Fredericks, Poppy Fredericks. And when I became the senior assistant commissioner, I refused to wear it because they weren't promoting me to deputy commissioner. And I tell Green Point Blank, I ain't wearing that because you ain't got no money going with it. It's just a little prestige thing. But the people recognize me, all my colleagues, CC and all of them recognize that I was a senior assistant commissioner. There was no need for me to wear no extra PIP, especially when you ain't getting money. So we understand, let me understand that, right? And I like these interactions when you listen and you think so we can clarify certain things and so on. Folks, let me say this again. Corruption in Guyana. Look, let me be honest. If you go back in some of the writings of some of the people who are perceived to be supporters of the PVP, they themselves talking about corruption. It is evident all over the place. And I'm going to talk about it more on the next program. I'm going to tell you examples of corruption in government offices. We know the glaring ones. An assistant commissioner, Calvin Brutus, as he was then, charged with 252 criminal offenses, corruption. You get cocaine that lodged at the police armory in Ivlery, turned to flour, corruption. You get 2 police ranks from Rhineville Police Station charged in relation to drugs that disappear from the property room, corruption. And you get so many other stuff charged, corruption. Akin, the commissioner of police, and this is not an allegation, it's a confession he made that he took $8.5 million from businessman Amir Ahmad to finance Brutus with it. There's corruption. Jagdeo came out and said the act is reprehensible. And what do you do to someone who committed a reprehensible act? You're promoted to commissioner. Corruption, big, stink, and dirty. And those are only a few examples. And the corruption, remember, is not only in taking money. We got to address this issue, hopefully before the end of the week, with the traffic situation where we see the former British High Commissioner Greg Quinn in some. We're going to talk about it. Corruption. Look, everybody who move around Guyana know that when it comes to the driver's license and think about it, corruption is there. People know firearm license, firearm corruption is almost every facet of life. Corruption. So much so that the Speaker of the House, Mansour, the former Speaker, Mansour Nadir, you know Nadir means bottom. When you hear the word Nadir, can't the English, Nadir is the bottom. Mansour Nadir banned the word corruption in Parliament. Banned the word corruption in Parliament. You want to hear it. It affected his spirit. It was so rampant. Folks, let me tell you all this. We're going to highlight all of these things. We have had a long afternoon. Again, apologies for not being able to bring the program to you this morning. And I guess based on the attendance, many people did not miss out. And those of you who missed the live, those people who missed the live, I'm sure they're going to go back on YouTube because the program is there. All the programs are there. All previous programs are there. So I always encourage you to go back and to listen if you think you missed something. Right? So, folks, and I got to give you the special thing to you.
Sit there and fabricate that. Unless you say who the person is, I can't comment on anonymous people.
Okay, well, let's talk about specific individuals. What is your relationship with Mr. Su Zhirong?
Su. Oh, Su. My relationship? Nothing. He's a tenant in my place, yeah.
And he's a good friend of yours?
Yes, yes, he is a friend of ours.
He claims.
Oh, Su, allegation that the vice president taking 500,000 from Chinese, US, forgive things. Never investigated, never. And they're up on political platform talking that sort of thing. I'm going to talk about it. Yesterday they had a rally at Linden. I can't imagine all they have done to the people at Linden. All they have done. Killed them on the bridge. Up to a couple months ago, killed 2 more. And I can imagine that any right-thinking person in Linden will support this murderous government. Folks, we had a long afternoon. I don't want to keep you much longer. Just to say to you, God's willing, we're going to come again on Wednesday. Wednesday is morning. As it is now, we plan to come back morning. As CC explained, the only reason why we came this afternoon, he had his annual checkup this morning. So we agreed to allow him time to do that, and we came this afternoon. Right? So, God's willing, Wednesday at 11 o'clock, we're going to see you here for next episode of Speaking Out, Exposing Corruption, Incompetence. Until then, stay well. Bye.